And so first thing I always check is the pump basket itself.
Okay.
And this lid, it just kind of opens up. We actually got an open air that way, so kind of beat on it till it opens. If you put the lid on really tight, it will be a pain in the butt to get off.
Okay.
But, we can see in there a couple of leaves, a couple of PVC shavings, plaster chunks, that sort of thing. Very normal startup debris.
Okay.
Not out of the ordinary. Is this fine? Just
Yeah, do what you gotta do. Yeah, I got a couple frogs in this camera already over there.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I think that one that I thought was dead the other day, it sprung back to life because I saw it hopping around by the gate where I dumped it the other day.
Oh yeah. There we go. So this is clean to me, but if you want to take a hose to it and really spray it out, no big deal, that's fine. This is very durable plastic. I've never had one of these baskets break on me.
Okay.
Now, dropping it back into the pump, we want to make sure that this hole is in line with the plumbing. It's the only way it fits. So if you do throw it in sideways, this lid is not even going to be able to close.
Okay.
But in line, there we go, seats down. And one thing I always check for is any leaves sitting on this top lip, as well as the rubber gasket inside of here.
Okay.
I just want to make sure it's not going to break the seal. We're good to go though. And hand snug. All we need, because when you turn that pump back on, it's going to suck down.
Okay.
And create its own seal.
Now, does the front need to be in line?
Not necessarily. So the reason why that's there, so we don't throw it on backwards.
Okay.
Like that. But as long as, for the most part, front is facing front, you're good.
Okay.
It's just so that over time those threads don't wear and it doesn't seal properly. You're always going to be able to stick it on snug this way.
Okay.
The next thing in line is the filter. This is roughly a twice-a-year clean. Now the pressure gauge also tells you when it needs to be cleaned. So there's a couple of indicators on here. There's a black needle sitting at the very bottom. That is the current pressure.
Okay.
So when the pump is off, no pressure. It always sits at 0. But then there's the green needle and a red needle. Green is clean, red is dirty.
Okay.
So whenever that black needle makes its way on up to the red line, it's time to clean the filters.
Okay.
But you can only read it when it's on and when it's on the high speed setting. So that morning timer, 8 to 2. So, you know, in the mornings you can come out and check up on it, or in the afternoons you can manually switch it to that higher speed just to check the pressure if you wanted to. But anytime that black needle's getting up close to the red or past the red, which would be very nasty, we want to open these filters up and clean these filters out.
Okay.
So first step is to open this orange valve. What that's going to do is drain the tank, and all the water is just going back into the pool. So when you open this up, it's draining down, going back into the plumbing, back into the pool. And then, there is a collar on the front that it's a 3/4 inch socket. Do we want to take it off? I can snag my socket real quick.
We don't have to, because I saw it at the pool store what it looks like inside. So I saw the 4 filters that are in there.
4 pleated filters. Take a hose, you just spray them on. You don't have to use any detergent. You don't have to use any cleaner. I mean, if you go into like a pool store or something like that, I mean, you'll see filter cleaner. And if you want to get it, that's fine. I mean, all it is like bleach to bleach the cartridges back to their original color. I'm not a fan of like detergents or anything like that. Mainly because these Hayward filters, they're made with a microband weave. And that microband actually repels mold and mildew and bacteria. So these are going to stay in really good shape for a really long time.
Okay.
As long as you're cleaning them about twice a year, you're looking at like 5 to 7 years of life before needing replacement filters.
Okay. Friend of mine's he bought 4 more filters. So when he pulls it out at 6 months, he puts the new ones in, cleans the other ones, put them to the side, so that way he's got fresh filters in there every 6 months.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my parents do that same thing. But cool. Now, if there ever is any debris sitting in the bottom half of the tank, maybe the filters just got really dirty, now we got a bunch of dirt in the bottom of there, there is a drain plug that you can pull and hose out that bottom half of the tank.
Okay.
Just if needed, or if you wanted to take like a shot back to it. Whatever you want to do is fine. But there is an O-ring down there. Want to make sure it stays on the plug. As well as there's an O-ring in between this top half and bottom half when you take this band off. If it's real dirty, spray it off with a hose so that it can get a good clamp down and seal.
Gotcha.
Now when you are done, just close up on the orange valve, and then you can turn the pump back on. Everything will start repriming. But
do I need to purge? So I noticed when he did the startup, he purged it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That is fine. Now that all the pipes are full of water, though, you don't necessarily have to.
Okay.
The pump's going to be able to pick up no problem, and it will just kind of self-purge the air back into the pool plumbing. But if you want to open this up to pre-purge it, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll probably do that today when we turn it back on.
Okay.
Now the last thing is the chlorine feeder. And this one can be a pain in the butt as well.
Okay.
But, yeah, hollow tube. No
oh, yeah, there's nothing in it.
But, see that little tray?
Yes.
It loves to flip and float whenever it is empty. So we just want to make sure it's seated on the floor, flat side up, this little side face down.
Gotcha. So I need to go get some tablets today.
There we go. And there's no specific kind of tablet you have to get. They're just the 3-inch chlorinated tablets. But as far as how many you would need to put in there, it really doesn't matter how many you stack in there, because we have this dial that adjusts the dilution rate.
Okay.
But typically, on average, you should be using about 1 tablet per 10,000 gallons of water per week.
Okay.
So for y'all's pool, we're probably sitting right in that 10,000-ish gallon range.
Okay.
I would say anywhere from like 9 to 12,000 gallons. So maybe start out with about 2 tablets a week. Adjust the dial setting until you find that sweet spot on the chlorine level. And then, you know, once a week you just got to chuck a tablet in there and you're good to go.
Okay.
But it's a little bit of trial and error where...
Is it beneficial to just fill it up?
So you can. And that would just allow you to not have to check it, you know, weekly. You could check it, you know, every couple of weeks or every month or something like that. Typically a full feeder will hold 9 chlorine tablets. Should get realistically about 7 to 9 weeks out of those.
Okay.
But if the dial is set too high, you're just going to be over chlorinating it. So you want to find that sweet spot on the gauge first, and then you can start chucking them in there, and it'll, you know, last a whole lot longer.
Okay.
But there is an O-ring inside of this lid as well. It does love to fall off in the hot summer heat, so just make sure that you slip it back in there. You can use some like grease or lube on there as well to help prevent the chlorine from eating it away. But hand tight, all we need.
Okay.
That'd be good for when you're gone.
I know, that's what I was like. I travel a lot.
I got you.
So.
Yeah.
And
So
that
you're
way I
going
don't
out
have
of
to worry
town,
about it.
fill it full, nobody's got to worry. Pool's getting chlorine.
Okay.
Cool. We'll go ahead and we'll hit filter just to turn the pump back on. We will help it purge. May take a second or two. But once we start to see this guy fill back up, yep, cool. I'll just kind of wait for it to shoot out the top up here.
There it is.
Couple of handles on the system. The 2 that are in front of the pump is where the water gets sucked in. And I actually have labels that I'll put on these pipes before I leave here today.
He was going to do it the other day when he started everything up, but it was pouring rain.
Oh yeah. So the first 2 pipes though are those 2 floor drains.
Okay.
Then this pipe on the left side is that skimmer, and that's pulling in from the surface. Typically, we want to leave it wide open so that we can get as much water coming in as we can, unless you're going to vacuum the pool.
Okay.
Depends on the vacuum you use. Did y'all get one of the robots?
So I got a robot, and they also dropped off the floor one as well.
Yes, sir. So that hand vacuum is where you would want to turn off one of those floor drains.
Okay.
That allows the skimmer to pull a lot harder, which is where that hose goes into.
Okay.
So the hose goes into the skimmer, the other end goes on the vacuum, and you just kind of roll it around, picking up trash and debris. So to turn off a floor drain, we're going to loosen up this first valve, and then we're going to turn it so that it says closed on the pipe. And now we're pulling a whole lot harder. You can actually kind of hear that kind of bump in the pressure. Open it back up. There we go. Which we'll vacuum today, and we'll kind of go through that process. But this handle right here, I never mess with.
Okay.
I would always turn off the first drain, hook up your vacuum, do your vacuum, open it back up. The handle up here is just a drain line.
Okay.
So if we open this up, it's dumping, and it is quick, about 100 plus gallons a minute on the higher speed.
Okay.
So if we just get bad rains and you want to let some water out, this is a pretty easy, convenient way to do it.
All right. So I need to get one of the diffuser, and I'll put it over there.
Like that, yeah. Now, we also add a normal hose drain. So if you want to hook a garden hose up to here, you could use that as well.
Okay.
Either one works. One's just going to be a whole heck of a lot faster than the other. Cool.
You can drain it into Ralph's yard, flood
I
his
was
yard.
just thinking that. I definitely love his grass. Anyway.
Cool. The only other thing is our ozone system, which sits up here on the wall. There's only two things that I'm looking for, and it's only going to run when it's on the higher speed, so that 80% in the mornings. We want to make sure the bead's floating in the middle.
Okay.
And if it's not, you could turn it up, turn it down if you need to, just using this gauge. But if it's in the middle, we're good on the flow. The second thing is making sure that the UV lamp is on.
Okay.
So light's on, it's generating ozone.
Okay.
When the pump is off, ozone turns off.
Got it.
Doesn't do anything. When it's in that lower speed, bead's going to drop down to the bottom of the tube right there. Cool. That is kind of it right here.
Okay.